And we are live, and we're back because this is the third part of the Fresco Harmony, the Great Fresco Harmony Adventure. I think we kicked ass, boys. Hey, or what do you think?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good time. And it seems to have like opened the floodgates. We got the next one under wraps, and I've already got my plane ticket to come back and see you.
Oh yeah. Here in a
Yeah.
few weeks.
Yeah. Fill me in on that on the next Fresco trip, you two.
Actually, it was a job I quoted about a year ago, and then she just never got back to me. So I was like, okay, I'm just not going to do it. And then the other day, she texted me. She was like, "Hey, I hope you didn't forget about me. By the way, I'm gonna be ready in 3 weeks." And I was like, "Oh shit." So yeah, it's only about I think 12 color pack, so it's not small, but it's not as big as the Hollywood was. So that's still gonna be a
Right on.
Yeah. What do you figure? It'll be 4 days anyways, maybe
yeah.
5 days.
Give us like 4 or 5 days if we're just kind of taking it easy and not pushing it too hard.
Yeah. Patterson snow.
Yeah.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
And Sean, nice mustache, by the way.
Thank you. I'm trying my very best.
New wax? Have you got the new
No.
wax yet?
No, but I just put this in, and by the end of this podcast, it'll be like I didn't do it.
Yeah, wax is key, man. I've bought a lot of bad waxes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just figured wax was going to be wax, but like now, if I put this in my beard to shape it, it would be perfect. Just because you don't want it to be like held like glue, but
Hmm.
man, it's Movember, by the way, for everybody listening. I guess this is coming out on Sunday, so it doesn't matter. I'm kind of happy that I did that. I like blew through all the old episodes because it was like months in the making, some of them. And then like the shit that we were talking about was totally irrelevant or didn't happen or happened differently. And I was like, fuck, man. Yeah, so this is nice. There's a couple people lined up and we'll be back on track now. It'll all be relevant. Happening as it's happening. What do you got there, Chad?
Do what?
What do you got?
Getting meatballs out for supper.
Oh. Mm.
But yeah, the whole adventure was awesome, Sean. I picked you up in Columbus. You
Yeah.
didn't sleep for what, 24 hours
It
more?
was almost 36, I think, by the time we went to bed.
After I picked you up, no, I drove over the curb before I picked you up.
Yes.
Then what was it, 5 hours from Columbus that
Yeah.
we drove?
Yeah.
Rock solid trip.
That was a
Flew
dope
by.
trip. It flew by. Music was going on point, good company. Like
We got we got two Chads and we were like, oh shoot, we needed to stop at Walmart.
okay, 12 more minutes and we're there. And then we're like, what about Walmart? I'm happy that we went though. Having those like so Cam was like, let's get pillows and a coffee maker. Well, I think that was the intention of going, and we got water. But that was so clutch. It was like brand new coffee maker, throw it out when you're done if you want. The pillows were awesome. A lot of times
Yeah, and anytime I travel, I take my pillow with me, and I happen to forget my pillow on that trip, so
yeah.
definitely going to get a pillow.
Oh yeah, that trailer was so clutch, Chad. That was like,
Yeah, Chad, thank you again for the awesome hookup on a place to stay. Couldn't
Oh
have
yeah.
asked for anything better.
Oh yeah, not a problem. It was kind of fun having everybody just like right here too. So
well, right, because we're all kind of like right beside each other, but you kind of weren't too, right? Like, because it's not like you're a single guy, you got a family and kids and everything. Like, you've got that whole life on top of this one. So we were like a stone's throw away. It was perfect.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Man, and the food down there was unbelievable.
I was trying to think of the name of that burger that we had at the winery.
Was it a horseshoe? Something like silly like that?
Yeah, horseshoe.
Oh man.
Man,
Yeah.
talk,
Open bun burger
talk.
with French fries and cheese on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was. I'm going to do that here from time to time because it was so good. It was like a mess on a plate, but like if you ate it with a knife and fork, it was so good, man. It was like,
You can dress it up with all kinds of stuff. Throw some, perhaps some bacon chopped up, throw in there. I mean, just, you know, all kinds of stuff. Just get
yeah.
creative.
We definitely ate good while we were out there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you're a whiz with that smoker, man. That combo unit you got is unreal.
Yeah,
Uh,
Chad's no slouch when it comes to cooking.
Yeah, no shit.
I definitely love.
That first night we were there, you cooked for like 30 people, it felt like. You just kept adding shit to the barbecue. I was like, are people coming or is this for us?
I like to eat too, so
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, we ate real good. Man, and that steak dinner we went for, and it was like, fuck all. I thought that bill was gonna be enormous. And it was like $100 or something, $130 or something stupid.
6 of us or 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5 of us. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was good. I can't believe that you kept Nick a secret so well for so long because I was totally blindsided by it. I was actually going to post in the morning, sure would have been nice if Nick sent us any merch or like acknowledge this trip at all.
He showed up that day and I heard his voice and I'm like, who's watching Instagram right now?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was real.
I'm over
Yeah.
there trying not to laugh because I knew Nick was just right around the corner. Of like, shit, there's Cam. It was like Nick's like right around the corner from Cam.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was that was excellent. It was the cherry on the top, man. That you know what I mean? And then because I've done some Fresco, but I've not done it beside Nick a lot. Like when we did it out west, like you saw him doing it, but like we had a couple of days of doing a lot of it where he was like, just look how I do my brake lines, look how clean I pick my corners, like things like that. Like I sharpened up my Fresco skills like crazy out there.
I mean, it's almost kind of like he invented the stuff or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he takes credit for it anyways. I'm not sure who really invented it, but I love it. Sorry, Nick, we're joking. It's fine.
Aren't they rebranding as Tech Drive?
What's that? Yeah. So when I sent that out to Corey, I told him that I wanted to see a video of like him going, I'm Corey Fisher and I'm gonna rate the Flex Dry, and then have him like shoot machine gun blow the shit out of it, and then be like, well, it's not bulletproof. And I don't, he just didn't do it. I think it's a little aggressive to actually post something like that, but it was a good idea.
Yeah, that might get you banned real quick.
Right? Yeah, have us in like a Bud Light situation again. That story that he made though, like the Fast and the Furious, where he's like checking out the cars, but he's like actual footage of me stealing the Flex Dry. That was amazing.
Yeah.
What made you put the color in the sealer? Had you done that before, or was that like walk me through that because that was really interesting.
Yeah, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I think let's see here. I want to say probably about 4 or 5 years ago when I first started messing around with Fresco. I kind of just started thinking, I was like, hey, what if I just mix in a little bit of this metallic paint with the sealer, and then yeah, I just started kind of making new weird designs with it, and then I started thinking, it's like if I get like similar colors of metallics to mix in with the sealer,
Mhm.
just extra pop to it. It just kind of caught on, and then yeah, there at Hollywood, I was like, she was wanting a deeper gray but not black. And I was like, instead of trying to have Nick concoct something, I was like, hey, I was just try putting in some mica powder, see what happens, and yeah, we done it, and she loved it, and then oh my god, it turned out phenomenal.
Worked out so dope. Yeah.
Blew the sample away. The sample I gave her, she was happy with that, and then she seen the walls. She's like, "Oh my god, that sample is just nothing compared to these walls."
Yeah, that like first day where it all goes up, you're like, this is cool now because it's all like you've changed the color of this entire place. And then the second day you come back and you're like, wow, this is like really starting to get some texture to it. Like, you know what I mean? You kind of get like the foreshadowing of it. It was really cool walking into a space that big every day, like not just a wall or a small room. Like it was that was it's huge. And then the day after Sealer Day was like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, what did she do? She had like a party or something. It was the anniversary party. So when we came in that next day, everything was like clean. It looked like a bar.
Yeah, it was her grandparents, I think, 60th anniversary.
Hmm.
Yeah, they apparently had a pretty good time and had a nice backdrop with all that fresco.
Yeah.
Yeah, the place it transformed it, that's for sure. Like and quickly too. Like all three of us on it. Four of us, not to forget about Nick.
Yeah.
But we crushed that out. It was cool. It was awesome seeing it get done so quick.
I really loved that. Where we all just kind of put our head down and fucking went at it. And then every time you looked, you're like, holy fuck, we're like almost done again. And then the next day you do the same thing. Like,
Yeah, there was no BS. It was just get to work. Let's get it
yeah.
done. We can have fun after work.
Yeah, I really worked too hard either. We just nice medium pace, just had a good time, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I was fucking around, but there was no part in any of those days where I wasn't like, this is so much fun right now. You know, like it was just like you said, a good pace. It was, you know, we know what we're gonna do by the end of the day. Let's just fucking get her done and then like go do crazy stuff. That bar where we had to like staple the dollars to the place, that was some of the coolest pictures from this adventure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely a experience.
For those who haven't been to Illinois, that this was new to me. They have to-go beers at the bar.
Oh yeah,
To-go drinks. So you not even beers. Like you can get a mixed drink to go.
oh yeah. That's they actually right before COVID or actually right after COVID started up. They passed a law where you can get to go drinks at the bars. I'm like, how great is this, right?
Well, when she poured me that super stiff drink and then we went to leave, she's like, "Do you want me to top that up?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And what I thought she meant was like, "I'll put more pop in that." And then she like topped it up. I was like, "This place would do me very ill if I lived here. This would be a mess." Yeah, what a good time though. Good food, good people. That customer and that bar was a home run for this project. Like Maggie was so cool and like no input at all, just like super excited that we were there. And just, you know, this all looks really cool. And comes back in the next day, this all looks really cool. All right.
Yeah, you gotta love the jobs where it's nothing but positive feedback
Oh
and
yeah.
compliments, pats on the back.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that CEO class. That was pretty cool. I've been thinking about that quite a bit of just like what that would mean to younger kids that like aren't going to college. Like going to college right now is almost a stupid idea unless you're going to go into something very specific. Um, because these kids are about to walk into a generation where everything is replaceable by AI. So like you need to be really good at something that a computer can't be good at. And being an entrepreneur is exactly that. You know, make fishing lures or whatever you want to do, right? But it's custom work, I guess.
Yeah, some with your hands, or yeah, obviously something you can't generate with a robot or a computer. I mean, especially around here, since we're in a rural area, it's almost kind of sad. There's no construction trades. There's no like trade classes, vocational classes. It's all geared toward math, science, and being a teacher or something. It's like the general stuff that It's just yeah, like construction around here is going downhill. Like even you like get into welding or auto body mechanics. It's like we're in a rural area where it's like the huge need, but there's like no like setup for these younger kids. Is like we don't have auto class in school anymore. We don't have construction trades. We don't have welding classes, stuff like that. It's like I don't know why. Maybe it's a funding thing. I don't get into politics or the specifics as far as government goes, but it's just there's nothing there for these kids to pick up on, and maybe the CEO class can maybe re-spark that. That's I hope it does. But
Yeah, I mean, for a kid in high school to even understand that he or she would like a job in the trades, like you've got to be on site. There's nothing that shows you anything in the curriculum of like, by the way, you might like using tools or whatever. Like it's just not there. And then the few kids that do go out and find somebody to teach them, like that could be some asshole that like isn't even doing it properly. And that's like the possible education you can have. That's tough, man.
no, yeah, I mean, a lot of what I've learned in drywall has been what not to do or how not to act or, not to how to carry yourself. I learned a lot of what not to do, but at the same time, I learned a lot of good things from other people too. But it's just, yeah, sometimes if you get the wrong person, it could, well, damage any kind of career you could have had or prevent it.
Did you ever get into anything like that, Cam? Like when you were coming up, of like, how did you
I
get into it?
I worked with one guy. He was an older guy, hawk and trowel guy, and he was good. He was good to work for. Like we had no problems. We only worked together for like 6 months in the company that we were both working under because he subcontracted for a larger outfit. They were swamped, and I got off on my own like literally 6 months after I got into the trade. Just
Yeah.
thrown into like a 10,000 board foot house and had like 2 weeks to finish it.
Jesus.
No tools. Just like I had to go the night before I started it and get a pair of stilts off of one of his employees to where I could even finish it.
Come a long way.
Oh boy, I put in 80 hours that first week on that place just to make sure I could get it done. There's a lot of hustle.
Yeah, totally. But what did you go get there? I see a marker.
Well, I was sitting there thinking, you guys wearing hats, and I'm not really fitting in. So
Oh my God. Perfect.
see
Tick.
that?
That
I love it.
is perfect.
Got to be safe for you.
And then safety glasses. I'm shocked you own both of those, to be honest.
Same.
I started going commercial a while back and had a few jobs where we had to wear hard hats while we was at work. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to Chad. I gotta get a picture of this critique.
that's
Perfect.
Oh, that was a good picture of me, but okay.
that's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, this like traveling circus of doing stuff. There's a real market for it, I think. It's the more that I'm kind of dipping my feet into stuff, I'm getting into LinkedIn now. It's like, how do you kind of anywhere find a crew that is even half good at anything, let alone something specific? Um, you know, you fly a crew in to do it. Like I think that's a great idea.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think it seems far-fetched. People are pumping a lot of money into big houses. If they want somebody that's professional in there finishing it, look at our resumes on our social media platforms, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like you can even go on Instagram and find people that are doing work, and but you don't know if they're part of a 5-man crew and they're going to come do it themselves, or if the pictures are even the pictures of their work. It's yeah, it's cool that that almost comes with a guarantee and Nick's down, right? So if it's a big enough project, you got the guy that made it coming down to double check everything. That's pretty crazy, man. I think we like stumbled into that and had a lot of fun doing it. So it's like, why not?
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about it myself. Last year or so, me and John Zilke, JC and Tears, we've been talking about maybe collaborating every once in a while. Just never really like connected, but this whole idea came about. It was just, yeah, it was kind of a joke at first, but at the same time, it was like I think we're all a little bit serious too. And then obviously
Yeah.
it happened. I think it's kind of sparked a lot of interest with John, and then well, obviously, heading out to Siri here, what, month and a half or so. I mean, it's
Yeah.
our take off. So I think it's a good thing. And then, I mean, why not be able to travel and see different parts of the world at the same time? I mean, have fun, experience things, make some money.
Yeah, that like Cam, you and I were talking about this. I don't know if it was on the car ride in or the last time that we did it, but it was like quarterly we should be doing something. And like I'm so happy to work, you know? It's not like
Yeah, work can be involved. Like my work, I
yeah.
do what I love, so like it's not that big of a deal if I go to work for a couple days, a week, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I mean they don't have to be big monster 3-week, 5-week jobs. Like in and out in a week. And I mean, I think if we were like balls to the wall for a week, we could have got that whole thing done in a week if we really wanted to. But the hangout was part of that, was the whole thing, to be honest. The work was just something to do while we were there. It kind of paid for it, but the working together and being around each other, we got to do more of that. It's I think it's good for everything. It's good for the community. Yeah, very cool. I'm in.
Me too. So we've got the Surrey. Am I saying that right? Is it Surrey? Surrey.
Yep, Surrey, BC. So the the Great Rocky Mountain Adventure is the next one. And it's in BC. Chad and I have kind of got over the plans pretty heavy. I've talked to the designer. We're gonna have a whack of Trimtex in there. There's gonna be feature walls. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. But I mean, what do you figure the footprint board feet was, like 26,000, something like that?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. And I mean, there's only the staircase that's gonna suck. The rest of it I can reach from the ground.
Yeah, first floor is 10 foot, so yeah, I mean, it's not a huge ordeal, but yeah,
Yeah,
I like stilts.
I know you guys are crazy. We're yeah, we'll see about getting a pair of stilts out there. I'm sure we can, man. It's I don't know if it's too early to talk about the companies that are getting involved, but I mean, there's companies getting involved. They're awful happy about it. So I seeing how that snowball is starting to roll down the hill. I'm thinking of like the next one. Like how cool is the next one going to be? That's I don't know. This is something I'm very interested in.
Yeah, imagine it goes bigger than social media. It goes on to TV, television.
Well, and I mean, kind of selfishly, this is kind of the first steps to that fucking tour bus, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Or
podcast tour bus.
yeah, like I don't remember what podcast that was. Uh when I get Jules involved here, we're gonna have to go through all of the podcasts again and like, do clips and that kind of stuff. I'm interested to see how long ago that was. Because I can remember saying I want to work with more people next year. I want to travel next year, and like all of that's happening. Um, but I mean, the next steps of fucking that's a doozy, man. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's kind
Um,
of what Cam said about the whole like maybe start getting into like TV stuff. When he sent me the link for that Airbnb, I was rolling through the pictures. I was like, holy shit, we could do like a reality TV series.
That is what that house looks like to me, and I didn't want to be the first one to say it, but it's like that is like one of those houses that they film a reality show at. It's
I was like, you could sleep 26 people. I was like, oh shit. So like, we could do a reality TV show.
well, when I started looking at Airbnbs, we were thinking about the girls separate than the guys. Like we had a bunch of conversations, and I was just like, yeah, everybody needs to have their space, right? Where you have like your own space, your own bathroom, and like regular size houses, like 3-bedroom houses, were like, $300 or $400. So this is only, another. I don't want to say how much it is, but I mean it's a little it's a little more than that, but it's not much. But it's got 9 bedrooms and a gym and a theater. Like that's where we need to, like, I think fucking we're starting to figure this out, man.
Yeah, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
The guys could take like 2.5 and the girls can take the other 3.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking, was like there's got to be some sort of like a downstairs bedrooms. Like it's got 9 bedrooms. They can't all be upstairs. So, that'll give everybody some space. Yeah. It's I'm interested to see how it works on site. Like if we all just attack everything at the same time, or if we're gonna do like what we did in Illinois. Actually, we could talk about that. That first day, Cam just like looks at the front of the bar is like mine, and like runs at it. And we were like, okay, well, everyone else picks something before they're gone, I guess. Like and I don't know, we were like far enough away from each other where you weren't like bumping into each other at all. And then but you're all on the same floor. Like that was just so great. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, or if you had a plan, but we just like attacked. That was awesome.
Yeah, I really didn't have a plan. I just figured once we got there and everybody got kind of familiar with the space, then we would just kind of fill each other out and just kind of go from there. And obviously the chemistry just worked, and we all just scattered. The next thing you know, color was going up everywhere. Worked
Yeah,
out perfect.
I think so. Yeah, that second coat, man, when you're pulling it tight and pulling it tight, it's like that just mangles your hand. Like it's like
When you came up to me and I'm working that mud, and
it's
my
like
mud got so thick. You're like, how are you even using this?
Jesus. I'm like grinding it into the wall. Like I'm like leaning into it, and Cam's just up there banging it out. I'm like, am I fucking missing something? Like what's going on here? What I started doing was I just like water it down between walls. And then once it starts getting tacky, I was fucking throwing it back in the bucket, grabbing new shit. Like it's almost like that Roman clay, where it's like just little bits at a time, and keep it like malleable. And that second coat's way better than like getting a fucking trowel full and then just keep mashing it into the wall till it's like 90. Huh.
Always let it tag up a little bit. Once I start feeling myself push a little bit more than normal, then I'll go ahead and I usually keep what I call a junk bucket.
Yeah.
And I'll just throw it back in there, and then I'll remix it up later and then reuse it instead of fighting it all the time. Yeah, it's like a few years ago when we done that big Fresco house. That's obviously we went through 72 boxes. So yeah, I was or 72 color packs. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and fight it this whole time. So yeah, I just came up with the idea of just keeping junk buckets. Where I've seen Nick a couple times, he was like, "Yeah, just throw it away or throw it in this box over here." And I was like, oh, "Okay, yeah." But at the same time, too, it's we talked about it later, and I think they do the same thing a little bit, where they start setting it aside. Or I think Sean, you and I started doing the same thing there that last week, where we would throw it back in the bucket we were using, and just like pushing off the one side, like scraping off on the edge of the bucket, and then keep using the new stuff. And then once it got to a certain point, we just remix it and then go again.
Yeah,
But
kind of.
there's a lot of different things.
Kind of,
Second coat is, man, it does tack up real quick.
yeah, that's kind of what I always find myself doing. Is when it gets real thick, I'll just take the edge of my trowel and run it on the side of the bucket to where all that thick mud's on one side and keep scooping out of the thin mud. And then eventually you get to the end of a wall and mix it back up. But I think Sean, I think you grabbed all that thick mud that I threw right on top.
I did. I dug right into it like a stupid ass.
Yeah, you got like a quarter of a bucket to work out of where it's good fit mud, and the rest of it gets real heavy towards the end of a big wall.
Well, that second day, I was like, man, he took a good chunk of wall there. Good for him, kind of thing. And then when those other panels that were going to be Venetian plaster turned into fresco, I was like, okay, I've got a good footprint now too. I didn't feel so bad. And then it was like, it wasn't like you were getting burnt out, but you were like working your ass off. And I kind of came up to the front and like you had all those fucking window returns. Like I didn't take a good look at what like your fucking scope was. But I was like, oh, this is fucking miserable. You want a hand? You're like, yeah, bro. That'd be just fine, actually.
After
Oh
going to town.
yeah, I'm just happier than shit. Like it's yeah, I didn't really like because we didn't really divvy it up. You didn't really think about it. I didn't really like analyze the amount of work what everyone else's like parts were. Like that whole bulkhead and like both sides of that big bulkhead. I didn't even think about that. And then you had to do it again because they wanted didn't they fill down to the I-beam or something?
Yeah, so,
Yeah, it was supposed to be covered with. Well, Chad knows better. He was in charge.
I I thought at one point in time we talked about them like doing some kind of like metal trim or something, and then I guess she decided not to, or maybe I misunderstood. But yeah, she's like, no, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to leave it as is. We're like, oh, okay. So yeah, we had to go back and redo it, or Cam had to go back and redo it. But yeah, that's a little hiccup, but no big deal, and it worked out. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
just it is what it is.
That Lone Azul was an excellent addition. Um, I think it would have looked funny having Venetian like right beside the fresco. I think that just the color tone difference, it
So,
stood out. I think that it all looks great.
different sheen too. So, and once I started seeing all the the Rio still going up, and then I started thinking about the color mixture and the difference in sheens. I was like, nah, I don't think it's gonna look good. So I pitched the idea to her, and of course, she's always loved fresco, and she's like, well, more fresco the better. And I was like,
Mhm.
do this. And she's like, great, do it. You guys are the artists. Go to town. I was like, all right, let's go.
And it worked out dope. Like those, even those little ones downstairs all turned out great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right on. We got 4 minutes. We coming back for another one?
sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.